And welcome back to White Mountains Today. We've done a little set change because glad to welcome Jim Chaput.
Yes.
Did I get that? Yes. I think it was the first time I got it right, Jim, so I appreciate that. From Discover Health Functional Medical Center. You're working in partnership with the Discover Health Functional Medical Center. Is that correct?
Yes, so I have my business is Simply Better Movement Therapy, and in partnership with Discover Health, we created the Discover Health Movement membership.
Great. And where are you based out of?
I'm actually based out of the same building as Dr. Trish at 24 Pleasant Street, so I rent space from her. And I had been doing, a couple years ago, in-person movement workshops, and she sometimes came to them and she loved them. So then when COVID hit, she said, we should take this all online. So myself, Lisa, Megan, working with Dr. Trish and my wife, Coach Trish, put together the online membership.
That's awesome. It seems like a natural progression to, you guys were in the physical same space, and then of course pandemic, go online and offer more services for the entire community. And when they sent me all the stats of what we're going to be talking about, couldn't be more excited. All about movement for longevity. Tell me where this came out of. Where did you get this idea, or is that what you trained in?
Yeah, so back probably about 10 years ago, I just started getting more serious about my own health, 40 years old, and realizing I got kind of fat and wasn't moving too well, so I really got into it.
Also simpatico with me.
So, I started getting into different movement modalities, a bit of CrossFit and other things like that. And then eventually I got into this applied movement neurology, getting more into the brain-based stuff. And then, just seeing people around my age and older struggling with movement, I came up with this movement workshop, the Movement for Longevity, just to get people moving better so that they could do the things they want to in their life.
Right. And you can do it preventative. Is it also like, boy, I do notice my balance is off. Can you regain that sort of
Yes, you can definitely. The way I look at it is you can always be better than you are today. It's like, I don't know if you can be as good as you were when you were 20 or 25, but you can definitely be better than you are
just shot
today.
my hopes down. Big
well,
time.
you never know.
I
never
got to perform even more now that you're 51, or I'm 51, you're 50. But I do find that balance, like jumping off stuff or skating hockey or stuff, I do feel that loss of balance. And I think that's a natural aging thing with the inner ear becoming a little hardened, like your balance can get off. But practice makes a big difference. And knowing what to do to practice balance and keep that mobility or gain it back is huge. How do people get involved? Is it all online, as we were mentioning? Can they request a one-on-one if they want to do a session in person?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. We have the online membership, so you can either opt for a membership that includes just the recorded classes. So there are 3 classes a week, Movement for Longevity is one of them. And then the second level of membership is you can attend the live class online via Zoom and get access to all the recordings. And then for anyone who wants to see me for a one-to-one session, yes. I mean, you could come to see me for a therapy session in Conway Village, or if you want to do more of a movement session, we could do that one-on-one as well.
Okay, and the one-on-one, you could do it so if folks are still being careful because of COVID, they can request a one-on-one Zoom with you or something like that too?
Yeah, I do Zoom one-on-ones as well, yes.
Okay, great, that's awesome. So describe how a class goes. So if I signed in to attend a class, how does that appear on my screen?
Right, so the first thing we do is just get people moving around a little bit, just, getting moving your head around, getting your joints moving, 5 or 10 minute warm up, and then it's broken into little segments. I just say, okay, I show people how to test your balance first of all. How do you test your balance with your eyes open? Make sure
don't even say eyes closed.
Yes, make sure you're safe, and then okay, now do the same position. See if you can close your eyes and still maintain it. If you feel like you're going to fall, open your eyes and be safe. But yeah, a lot of people, they're fine until the eyes are closed, and then, oh boy, that's a whole different story.
So you were talking about some brain neuropathy type stuff. Is that part of regaining, like why my eyes are closed, regaining that balance? Is that part of what's up here, or is it more muscle memory of the body?
So The reason for the eyes closed is to force your vestibular system, your balance system, to work harder. Because what people don't realize is they're relying on their vision so much for balance that when it gets taken away, that's why you have a major problem. So what we do is just say, well, let's find out. If you take your eyes out of the equation, how do you do? And if your balance is good with your eyes gaped, you can still get better. But if it's not, well, what do you do at night when the lights are off and you need to get up and go to the toilet?
Just don't move.
Exactly. So, yeah, so a lot of what we see with the aging is it's really just because people's activity changed. So if you're not as active, your brain's not getting the exercise it needs, right? So what we're trying to do, what we're getting people to do is, well, let's push your comfort zone, expand it a bit. And I mean, we have some people within just a few weeks, just major improvements. Really? And other people, it's a little bit of a longer journey, but I've had people who the balance testing position was impossible, and then a couple of months later, they could do it with their eyes closed. So
awesome.
You can get better.
And it's a personal journey, right? So if someone starts, their point A might not be the same as the other person's point A. So it really is just improving on what you can do. And that's pretty amazing that you can regain that balance, because I think that's where I'm lacking, balance.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if we do something like I ask people to get down to the floor and back up, and I'll show a bunch of different ways to do it, but I'll also give options to say, well, you know, if you've got a coffee table that's sturdy and you want to just get down to that instead of down to the floor, you know, meet people where they're at, right? So, of course, it is a journey, a personal journey, as you said. So, you know, the whole thing about the class is helping you figure out what you need. You do that, and then you come back next week and the week after, and eventually what will happen is you'll be able to do more and more.
That's awesome.
So it just adjusts to wherever you're at.
That's fantastic. And equipment, let's talk equipment. What do they need? Do they need anything?
Very little. For most of what we do, you don't need equipment. You might need, you know, a low object to get to. Sometimes we do some strength stuff, so I suggest people have a couple of dumbbells. But if you don't have dumbbells, a water bottle is sometimes heavy enough for the stuff, or, you know, a jug of milk or something. So you can make do with what you have at home.
That's awesome. And correct me, you said that there's live Zoom classes that they can attend, sign in and attend that class as it's scheduled, right? And there's videos too?
Yes. So I do my class Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. So I usually get some people attending live on the Zoom. We record the class, and then within a couple of days, it's up into our library. So you've got at least 6 months of recorded classes that if you joined today, you could search through those 6 months and say, oh, I want to try this class, and just give it a go.
Great. And you can totally blast out in a day. Do like 7 classes, be so sore.
That might be too ambitious, but yes.
But it is, so you can self-guide though, you
Yes,
know,
exactly.
as far as how many videos that you want to do in a day. Well, that's fantastic. Now, Jim, is there anything that we left off the table that folks need to know?
I think one thing that I want people to know is that I adjust the class, you know, week to week, month to month. So you'll see, similar things every month, but I take feedback from the participants. The reason why we do strength stuff now is because people said, please help me get stronger. So I always include some elements about strength. So if you join and you give me feedback, we'll adjust the class to help you get exactly what you need.
That's awesome. And I imagine that one-on-one, the Zoom with you, even just to start out, so you can do evaluations based on, you know, like if I were to say, Jim, help me out, that you can say, well, your hips are particularly tight, or, you know what I mean? So in my mind, going through either the recorded classes or in the Zoom classes, I can keep that in the back of my mind, like, this is where I need to work. So that would be pretty cool, too, to do. So again, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so if you go to discoverhealthfmc.com, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a link to get more information about the movement membership.
Fantastic. Well, Jim, it's very nice to meet you. Can't wait to take a Zoom class. It's going to, you know, because I'm trying to get after 3 years back into hockey, and my body is not liking it. It's not liking it at all. So tightness in the lower back, tightness in the hips, but also I want to get stronger, you know, so you had the the force coming out of whatever turn you're in, that I can maintain that. So I'm going to be getting in touch with you big time.
Excellent.
But I appreciate the information. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we have more to come. We're going to give you another opportunity to do a watch and win. Plus, we have another look at the weather forecast, so don't go away.